Hey everyone, welcome back to the home studio. Stevie here. James once again is doing something very British, so he's not here today. But we were talking earlier and he asked me to please watch and then react and also, of course, upload a video about the Triple H press conference, which wasn't really a big surprise announcement. I looked online yesterday and Sports Illustrated and other sites were already saying and already leaked the fact that WrestleMania 43 will indeed be in Saudi Arabia. That will be 2027. And I have to say right off the bat, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts because I've read a lot of reactions, especially on places like Reddit and even during the live chat before Triple H eventually came on. By the way, they were about 10 minutes late and my cat fell asleep during waiting for the stream to start. But when I'm looking at this and already knowing what the announcement is going to be, every single move that more specifically TKO, but you have to say WWE at this point as well, every single move they make, every single decision that they make, every single announcement that they make like they do today, I have to feel bad for wrestling fans. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for anybody that wants to consume the WWE product, either if whatever few house shows or live events they may have, if any, TVs where I see people saying, I paid $700 for nosebleed seats for Raw, or even around that or more for SmackDown. I remember James and I talking about $1,000 seats, nosebleed seats, I should be more accurate or more specific, at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. Now we thought $40,000 tickets at SummerSlam, but then WrestleMania in Vegas said, hold my beer, $70,000. I'm just, what it's like to be a wrestling fan, especially a WWE fan, because there is great wrestling out there that's much more affordable. And this is where I have to give AEW credit, and AEW should totally in a great way undercut WWE and really be the viable alternative. We'll get to that towards the end and some suggestions I might have for the competition out there. And hopefully independent wrestling will thrive again outside of this, because people definitely need a more affordable or just downright less than completely unaffordable alternative. So, let's talk about WrestleMania in Vegas, WrestleMania 42. Originally, and everybody knows this story. If you don't, just bear with me for a minute or two. WrestleMania 42 was not supposed to be in Las Vegas. It was originally supposed to be in New Orleans. But they said, no, Vegas gave us more money, so you can have, maybe if you're lucky, money in the bank. Do you see a pattern here? Do you see the pattern that's been going on for quite a while? This Triple H era, which Triple H, he's just a pawn in this entire, excuse the pun, game. TKO, and especially in his case, Saudi Arabia, will use their leverage, will use their influence, will use the power to get what they want. Do they care about you? Absolutely not. Do they care about the WWE superstars? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, James had pointed out that the WWE payroll is the lowest out of any sport, any entertainment, even lower than UFC, which TKO also owns. It's around 10%, maybe a little bit more. So they are definitely, as Road Dogg would say, the bean counters are in charge. And I still stand by my point, especially after this announcement, that WWE is going to, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, well, maybe next year they'll announce it at WrestleMania, that Saudi Arabia is buying WWE. If it's not going to be now, it's going to be sometime in the future leading up to 2030, which is a huge date for Saudi Arabia. But let's get back to you, the wrestling fan, the diehard wrestling fan that is stuck with WWE up until this point. And as a matter of fact, the financials and everything, times are tough for everybody. This economy is not easy for anybody. My heart goes out to anybody that wants to go and take a family, take their wife, take their kids, take their brother, their sister, their mother, their father, their uncle, their aunt, whatever it might be, their grandkids, and go watch professional wrestling because, I grew up a professional wrestling fan. My son did, so I should take my grandson and make it a complete multi-generational family experience. A moment, a memory that WWE, that Vince McMahon always says, we want to create moments. We want to create. I almost did this because that's what we used to create the moments and the memories. So when I'm looking at this and looking at the pattern, there's just one word: greed. Now, greed is everywhere. Every corporation has greed. Every corporation, every business, including our own, including the Stevie Richards show, Stevie Richards Fitness, James's new List Mania channel, WSI before that. We are all trying to make the most amount of money as a business, as a brand, as sole proprietorship or the LLC. Sorry, Philly accents in full effect. So maybe I can use some of that Saudi Arabian money to fix that. But when I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, there comes a point where it becomes really, really, for lack of a better term or word, perverse and spiteful. Spiteful is probably a better word, so I'll take back the first one. Spiteful to say to the fans, we're going to keep charging you more. We're going to continue to charge you more. We're going to squeeze you just a little bit or a lot when it comes to like SummerSlam, WrestleMania. Who knows what the Royal Rumble tickets are going to be? Then the ESPN deal. Then just subscriptions on top of subscriptions and the overhead that's required to just enjoy, in my estimation, in my opinion, a very repetitious product that has no innovation to it as far as storylines, the way things run, the continuity, the interwovenness of anything. It's just whatever. Let's just get through this week. Something I've heard even dating back to when I was there in the early 2000s. Let's just get through this week. All right, so I have my opinions. Once again, comment below. Let me know what you think. But this is my message since TKO and WWE love money so much. They want that money. They want your money, more specifically. What can you do as a professional wrestling fan that has stuck with WWE up until this point, that has been a diehard loyal wrestling fan, which personally, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you out there. Whether you liked me or hated me, didn't really care, but still watched and still tuned in, or want to buy a ticket, or wanted to just stick a middle finger up when I had the shirt and tie and the buzz cut back in 2000, you're the reason I'm sitting here right now doing this video and you're watching it. You gave me a career. You gave my family wealth. Do you see where I'm going? I didn't lose. I didn't lose the memo. I didn't lose the purpose of this whole thing. WWE, because of TKO, I would believe. I don't know. It was still kind of there with Vince, with Saudi Arabia and everything. So it's not just a cut and dry type transition where Vince was a good guy. Now these are the bad guys. But they've lost the whole point of this. If nobody can afford to go to these, and they're still selling out stadiums, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. The stadiums, the arenas, they're still selling a ton of merchandise. But when I looked at with the threads, especially on Reddit and other places, and comments and a live chat during the press conference, people were not happy. And I have to say, especially people in a place like England that has been waiting for a WrestleMania. One of my favorite pay-per-views, and James and I did a watch-along on the British Bulldog Bret Hart Intercontinental title match, the main event of SummerSlam 92 at Wembley Stadium. That's still one of my favorite shows of all time. And the reason why it's one of my favorite pay-per-views, one of my favorite shows, and has some of my favorite matches is because of that crowd, because of the international flavor of SummerSlam back then in 1992. It was completely different and it was awesome. And the British fans, the European fans are just awesome. And even those fans, I would say, what are you going to do to make your voice heard? Because the only reason or the only way WWE and TKO are going to listen, which you've already assumed, what is the number one thing to them? What's the most important thing to TKO and WWE right now? Money. Money. They're the real life $1 million man but they're like the $1 billion man that wants to be the $1 trillion man. The $1 trillion man is actually the Saudis. But you vote with your wallet, whether or not you want to consume. You vote with your time. Do you want to sit through 3 hours of Raw when you're spending a ton of money to basically watch the same show that was last week and the same show that'll be next week and the week before, week after, and the week after, and the weeks before? That's up to you. If they look at their revenue stream and see that it goes down, if they look at their subscriptions for Netflix and ESPN, which by the way, Stephanie wants to save you some money, go get a VPN. They will look at the bottom line. They will get on that earnings call every quarter and say, oh, we're losing money. People are not watching. People, and maybe they won't care. I don't know. The TV licensing deals and everything they have, that also is the most important version of the money. That's the most important category of income to them. All these outside deals, including Saudi Arabia. So maybe they'll start doing like empty arena matches like they did during COVID. I don't know. But there has to be something on the side of the fan where you don't take action, just inaction. Don't pull out your credit card. Don't pull out your cash and invest with this company or invest in this company, because this company is not investing in your entertainment. They only care about the bottom line. They only care about money. And like I said, every business wants to make money and keep growing, but it becomes a point where it's so spiteful towards you, the wrestling fan. And it's up to you. It's your choice. If you enjoy and you say 40,000 for SummerSlam, 70,000 for WrestleMania, I'm going to fly to Saudi and catch that show as well. That's up to you. That is up to you. That's your choice. That's your prerogative. But if you're one of the many fans that I saw in these threads and in that live chat during the announcement, if you're unhappy, stay unhappy. And like I said, maybe not act on it, but your inaction of saying, I got better things to do on Monday night. I got better things to do on Friday night. I'll just watch the highlights and clips on YouTube for free. I don't have to watch the pay-per-view. I don't have to watch this. I don't have to subscribe to anything. That's your way of speaking power to TKO and WWE. And it's totally up to you. I for one, am just flabbergasted at the lack of self-awareness, how tone deaf this company is towards you, the fans. And you can say whatever you want about Vince McMahon, and I have too, and we have plenty of clips up on this channel. But man, he really didn't want to squeeze. He was going a little bit in that direction with Saudi Arabia. But Vince was always mindful about bringing families into the building, getting families to support the company. I know about the Attitude Era as well. So there are shifts here and there, but with that being said, also the cost of tickets, the cost of other things, there was a time where those things were made very affordably for everybody out there. So I don't know what else to say. You leave a comment below. This is up to you. If you want it to change, if you want their greed to change or at least be subdued to a certain point, it is up to you to not invest in WWE anymore, to not buy tickets, to not subscribe, and also not view the product. And there's always YouTube highlights. If you need a fix, get in and out, watch what you want to watch, and you're done. You may say, oh my God, this is a better way. This is a better way to watch this stuff, isn't it? And make sure you use a VPN, as Stephanie would say. So that's about it. Thank you so much. I know we went on for a little bit. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.